Hey y'all, it's me, Miss B. Today we're talking about quadratic functions in standard form. Previously, we did vertex form. So using those notes on vertex form, I want to go ahead and list what you know about quadratic functions. Here's some things that I would have said. Its shape is a parabola. The way that we write a quadratic function is f of x equals x squared. That squared makes it quadratic. And then we have certain points, like the vertex is HK. The axis of symmetry is important. And then we also have our maximums and minimums depending on what kind of function it is. So again, we talked about vertex form before, and now I'm introducing standard form. So standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c. Some things you need to know. First of all, the graph is still going to be a parabola. Secondly, the x-coordinate of the vertex is going to be found by evaluating negative b over 2a. And then this is just a note, but to find y, plug back in. And then the y-intercept is going to be the value of c, so that's going to be the point 0, comma, c. So that's where it intersects with I don't know how to spell, intersects with the y-axis. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this first example. We're going to find the vertex and the y-coordinate, not the y-coordinate, but the y-intercept. I'm going to go ahead and change that word so we don't get confused. Oops. Go ahead and change that word to intercept. Okay, so first I always like to write out what A, B, and C are. So A is this coefficient in front of the x squared, B is the coefficient with the x, and C is the coefficient, or the constant, I should say. So then we want to find the vertex. To find the vertex, we need x equals negative b over 2a. Negative b, so we have negative 2 over 2, and a is equal to 3. So we get negative 2 over 6, or negative 1/3 as our x value. Then to find our y value, we plug it back into this equation. So we have 3 times negative 1/3 squared plus 2 times negative 1/3 plus 5. So we get, let's actually move this over here so we have a little bit more room. Time, because this is our y equals equation. So I have 3 times 1/9 plus negative 2/3 plus 5. So 1/3 minus 2/3 plus 5 gives me 4 and 2/3. But you know what, we're going to leave that as if you hit the one button in your calculator, you'll get that this is equal to 14 over 3. So I'm going to go ahead and write that as 14 over 3. So our vertex is the point negative 1/3, 14/3. In this case, our numbers aren't so pretty, but we'll make them pretty when we're graphing. Okay, we still need our y-intercept, which is easier to find. Change color here. So our y-intercept, all we're gonna do is it's 0, c. Our c value is 5, so this is 0, 5 as that answer. So our two things that are important are the vertex and our y-intercept. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this next one here. So I'm going to write out what A, B, and C are. So go ahead and do that on your own. So what you should have got was 2, 1, and 3. So then to find our vertex, we're going to use the equation x equals negative b over 2a. Go ahead and plug and chug. What you should have got was negative 2 over 2 times 1, which is negative 1 for our x value, and then we'll plug it back in. So 2 times negative 1 squared plus negative 1 plus 3. So we get, go ahead and simplify that with your calculator. And so we get, wait, why do I feel like I did something wrong? No, we're good. So I get 2 times 1 minus 1 plus 3, which is why do I feel like I made a mistake somewhere? You know what? I did. Instead of changing this all of our work, let's just change this value to a 1 and this one to a 2. So gotta change this to a 1 and this to a 2 because I switched my negative b over 2a. So then this is 1 and 2. Oops, sorry. Okay, so we fixed that easily. So now we have 2 minus 1 is negative 1 plus 3 is 2. No, that's not right. 2 minus 1 is 1 plus 3 is 4. So our vertex is the point negative 1, 4. All right. Let's do our y-intercept. It's going to be 0, 3, because it's just our c value. Ended up having a lot nicer numbers by doing the problem incorrectly, funny enough. All right. So now let's do some graphing. So for A here, I'm gonna go ahead and draw some lines in. Of course it didn't straighten out when I needed it to. Let's try again. Oh, man. Struggling. There we go. And we'll put this down here. Okay, so let's first find the vertex. To find the vertex, I'm gonna do one down here because it's harder to find. So we're gonna find the vertex. So x equals negative b over 2a. This is our a is 1, b is 2, and c is 3. That's funny. Okay, so then negative 2 over 2 times 1 gives us negative 1. Then we'll plug that back in. So we have y equals negative 1 squared plus 2 times negative 1 plus 3. If you plug that into your calculator, you get 1 minus 2 plus 3. And so y equals 4. Ooh, you know what? I'm going to write this as a point. So we get, so our point at the vertex is, for our function is negative 1, 4. So I'm going to plot that point. Is that right? No. No, it is not. Because 1 minus 2 is negative 1, plus 3 is positive 2. Gosh, my math today is off. There we go. Okay, then we want to find the y-intercept, which is just 0, 3. So I'm going to go ahead and plot that point. And this is where stuff starts to get interesting. We have to remember the axis of symmetry goes through the vertex. So I'm going to go ahead and plot that. That's this point, this line right here. It goes through the vertex. And because we have that axis of symmetry, I now can plot this point. It's 1 away here, so it's going to be 1 away over here because it's a reflection there. And now I can graph the rest. So I'm just going to do that in my purple. And so then I'm able to just draw my lines here. So it's going to end up looking like so. Okay. Okay. So I want you to go ahead and, you know what? That's all.